It's one of those ones, I'll just say this at the beginning. I'm not 1,000% sure that I'm playing it exactly. I think there's 2 guitars. This is pretty close, but I don't know if it's exactly right. I spent like way more time. I bet I could totally figure it out. But this is very close. It's an open B flat. So this is quite low. It's a nylon string too. I wish I had my nylon string to do this on. It would sound more like it. Very low tuning though. You want to use like thick strings. It sounds kind of crazy on this guitar, like the strings are flapping around a little bit because they're so low. Because it's your E all the way down to a B flat. That's very low. And then your A down to an F. Your D down to a B flat. Your G down to a D. Your B down to an F. And your E, high E, also down to a B flat. B, F, B flat, F, B flat, D, F, B flat. So very low tuning. And then the finger picking pattern, again, this is when I spent some time with it, and see, I hear this ba-do-da-da. So it's like, there's something like that, right? So there might be some kind of like, maybe like a multi-finger, something like that in there. That's not really my forte, and I think there's also a guitar that's more just like strumming. So I did kind of a little bit of a hybrid. I did this kind of this style where I used my thumb and my index. So in other words, my thumb is kind of just thumping on the beat. The song's in 3/4 time, or that's one way you can think of it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I kind of have the thumb kind of thumping the low strings on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then I kind of had this just kind of playing in between those thumbs. So my index kind of swiping down and up, you know. As usual with the right hand, with strumming and picking, I just recommend that you play with it until you find something that works for you. You could also just sort of strum with the index in between all the thumbs, like. That kind of works nicely, where you just do the like thumb, you know. It also works really well as just a thumb strum. So yeah, it depends how detail oriented you want to be and what's the most fun and easy way for you to do it. Okay, so I'll show you some of the chords. Okay, so the sort of intro, which is a lot like the chorus, goes like this. So the first chord is like, so we're in open B flat. So the chords basically are, you got your B flat chord, and this is basically, I'm gonna call this an E flat. I wasn't sure whether it's this or this. I ended up playing it like this. So this is, my second finger is on the 5th fret of the 6th string, and my third finger is on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. Sorry, I have a chip in my throat. So you could have the 5th fret on the 6th string and the 5th string. These are very similar chords. I kind of like doing like this, and my second finger is leaning over and muting the 5th string. So on my second finger on the 5th fret of the 6th string, it's sort of leaning over and muting the 5th string, open 4th string, third finger playing the 5th fret on the 3rd string, and then the 2nd and 1st being open. So that's your first chord, which is an E flat. You do that for 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Second chord, this is like a G minor. And it might be that, it might be that, it might be this. All these are possibilities. Could be something else, but I think it's this. Okay, so what I did is my first finger on the 8th fret of the 3rd string and my 2nd finger on the 9th fret of the 6th string. And optional, put your 3rd finger in on the 9th fret of the 5th string. It's also possible that there's nothing on the 3rd string. Again, this is something where I think if I zoomed in and listened like really carefully, I might be able to tell exactly what's being played. But it's one of these. Again, this is what I did in the playthrough that I just did. 1st finger on the 8th fret of the G string of the 3rd string, 2nd finger on the 9th fret of the E string, the 6th string. So you go from this E flat to this G minor to just everything open, B flat, back to the E flat. Those are the first 8 bars. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you're back to your E flat. Then it basically is just a repeat, but this time there's something different for the B flat chord, which is this. So this is the same shape, you'll notice, as the G minor. This is now like a B flat over D. It's like 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the 6th string. And then that goes back to that E flat, back to that 5th fret one. And that's the whole intro. All right, so then the verse. Starts similar to the chorus. The E flat one for 2 bars, the G minor for 2 bars, back to the B flat. Now this is where it gets a little funky with the timing. So now it goes, it feels a little unnatural. It's after 6 bars, it goes into a new phrase. So it's like, now we're in a new phrase. Notice this is similar to the intro. So first phrase is E flat to G minor to B flat. Then the second phrase is E flat to G minor to B flat over D. This one, same shape as that, but down here at the 3rd and 4th rows. Then it goes back to that first phrase again, E flat to G minor to B flat. And then this time after the B flat over D, it does the E flat for 2 bars. So the whole verse is E flat for 2 bars, this one, G minor for 2 bars, B flat for 2 bars, now E flat for 2 bars again, G minor for 2 bars again, B flat over D for 2 bars, E flat for 2 bars, G minor for 2 bars, B flat for 2 bars, E flat for 2 bars, G minor for 2 bars, E flat over D again for 2 bars, and then this E flat for 2 bars. That's the verse. The pre-chorus starts on the E flat for 2 bars. Then you just move these fingers up 2 frets to become an F chord now. So now your 2nd finger's on the 7th fret of the 6th string and your 3rd finger's on the 7th fret of the G string, of the 3rd string. Then you go to the open B flat major chord, then back to that E flat. Then it feels like it's repeating. And then it throws this weird diminished chord in there. I'm calling this an E diminished. First finger's on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, 2nd finger's on the 6th fret of the 6th string. Back to the E flat. That's the pre-chorus. Okay, so now the chorus, which is a lot like the intro. I believe you will praise you. So you have this E flat to the G minor to the B flat to the E flat. And then repeats E flat to G minor to B flat over D and back to E flat. Okay. I think hopefully I've explained what each of these chords is at least once. And so you can go back there. I'll put full notes for this, like in a chart, which will be available on my Patreon. But otherwise, hopefully you can jot down these chord shapes as I say them and then make your own chart if that's what you'd prefer to do. After the first chorus, it goes back to the intro. Another verse. I think the second verse is the same length as the first verse, but it might be half. I played it the same length as the first verse, and then as I was doing it, I was like, are there as many words in the second verse? I couldn't remember. Then it goes back to the pre-chorus. The second pre-chorus holds the last chord for 2 more bars. So it's like... 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's the second chorus, and the second chorus starts with a few bars of just holding chords. Believe you were, and then it kind of sneaks back in on like the, so it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and now the second chorus is like a double chorus, and then it sort of repeats the second part of the chorus a couple times. So like the part of the chorus that goes E flat to G minor to this B flat over D. This is the one that's the same shape as the G minor, so it's the first finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string and the 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the 6th string. So it repeats that a couple times. Again, it sort of repeats that a bunch of times. You can kind of figure it out with the words. And then it does this sort of like outro bit. And the outro goes back to that weird E diminished. 1st finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, 2nd finger on the 6th fret of the 6th string. That's for 2 bars, and then to the E flat for 2 bars, and then to the B flat for 4 bars. Back to E diminished for 2 bars, E flat for 2 bars, B flat for 4 bars. And now this time, and it ends on the E flat. All right, hopefully that is all followable. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you think you know a better way of playing it, once I get my nylon string back, maybe I'll make another video where I play it on that so that it's extra pretty. Yeah, and check out the Patreon if you want to get the chart for that or anything else that I do. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day or afternoon or night, as the case may be.